Good morning, Maybury Hill. It's Mr. Mann here, and welcome to my virtual assembly. The second one in this series about from the book You Are Awesome by Matthew Syed. I hope you're well, and I can't believe how quickly this last week has gone. It seems to have flown by. I hope you've been able to keep on top of things with your work, and and things have been okay at home with your family, etc. There's obviously might be some news this afternoon. This is Sunday morning. I'm doing this, by the way. And there might be some news about schools opening tonight or this afternoon. We can just keep our fingers crossed and hope for that, I'm sure. But anyway, we carry on as normal, and I left you in last week's assembly thinking about a goal, a target that you might have for the future. And I asked you to go away and write down what that goal might be, and then start to put together a list of things that you would need to do to achieve that goal. That list could be long, it could be quite short. But what were the actions that would need to happen for you to start that? And then from those one actions, try and see what you could do this week to accomplish one of those actions. I wonder how you got on. Did you manage to start this process? It's quite an exciting process when you do. I know I did, and I'll tell you about that in a later date. But nevertheless, I hope you had a go. So today, we're going to move on, and we're going to look at, with the help of Matthew Syed, what actually holds us back from trying to aim for those goals. What are the things that get in the way, that prevent us, that even stop us from even starting that goal? And from this, maybe there are some ways in which we can overcome those things that hold us back and help us to try and really move forward and strive for the very best that we can be. Did you know that two-thirds of the children in school today will end up doing a job that hasn't been invented yet? Just think about it for a minute. That's incredible. And did you know on average you will probably have at least 17 different jobs in your lifetime? Because the world is changing incredibly fast. And it's no wonder, therefore, that at times we all feel anxious and about how we are going to fit in and whether we're going to be smart enough or have the right skills or the right talents. And we certainly don't want to look stupid. And these are some of the things that really stop us and sometimes prevent us from actually trying something and having a go. But the choice is ours. And if we want to try and achieve our goals and try to achieve our aims, we've got to consider certain things. First of all, no one is born with those talents. No one comes into this world having all those talents there. Getting good at something takes a lot of time. It doesn't just happen overnight. And becoming awesome at something really takes time. And becoming a world champion takes even longer. If you look, for example, at Michael Jordan there, who's probably one of the most successful basketball players in the history of basketball, he talks about the fact that, and I quote, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot. And I missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that's why I succeed." So the world can seem a really confusing place, can't it? And sometimes trying new things can seem like a whole lot of extra effort. When faced with something tricky, it's sometimes very easy to go, nah, I can't be bothered. I don't want to take the risk. With the shame of feeling bad if I do it wrong or I get it wrong. But you're never going to achieve your full potential if you're scared to even try. But before we start to understand a little bit more about this, let's have a look at the brain, because that's what controls a lot of our emotions. First of all, it's the size of about a large cantaloupe melon, and it has a texture of squishy minced beef. But from an emotional perspective, our brains can be pretty fragile too, and sometimes it's our thoughts and worries that can sabotage us and hold us back. So what are the things that runs through our minds? What are the things that you have to push through to get out of your comfort zone and be a bit hard? The 5 things listed here are some of the things that will go through our mind, and I'm going to explore them one by one. So one of the biggest things that really stops us doing things is the fear of looking foolish, isn't it? Can you think of those times where You've not wanted to put up your hand in a class in case you got it wrong and you thought people were going to look at you. Or you've had a big thing to do like an exam or a performance or gone on onto a sports field, and the night before those fears have started to well up inside your stomach, and the next morning somehow this sore throat has appeared, or this ache or this headache, and it's really prevented you, or you've talked yourself into not coming into school because you didn't want to face it for fear of looking foolish. It happens to all of us. And in fact, some of the greatest actors in the world get really, really sick before they go out on stage. So it's really, really important that we look to see how we can overcome those fears. Because you know what? To improve, you never learn anything by pulling out. You've got to step over that line just to see, even if you get it wrong, because we learn so much more that way. Our television and computers are full of success stories, aren't they? People winning things on talent shows, on television, whether they're singing or dancing or making things vanish into thin air. We see their performance as being faultless, as being absolutely perfect, and we refuse to believe that we could never do the same thing. So why is this? What is it about everyone, from top sportswomen, men and women, to pop stars, that makes us think we couldn't hope to be anything like them? The answer is really simple, because the fact is, when we see them perform, we're only looking at the end result of a huge amount of hard work. We're watching them with success goggles, as Matthew Syed puts it, whether it's learning the violin, swimming, schoolwork, or BMXing. We don't see how much time and dedication they put into becoming really good at it, nor do we see all the mistakes they've made along the way. Instead, we focus on that kind of the finished product, assuming it must be down to some natural born talent or gift, and write off our chances straight away. We could never follow in those people's footsteps. Often we're just reluctant to admit how much work they put into getting to that place. And it can take away from a fairy tale ending after all, but sadly, in master reality, that amazing feats of awesomeness take masses and masses of practice to perfect. So young people often get a bit of hard press about being lazy. Can you think of a time when you've just sat down for less than half an hour and someone already has made a comment at home? But at the same time, it's fair to say that the most attractive path for some people is too often the one that requires the least amount of effort. And that's especially the case for people who are sometimes told as being incredible, when you're told you're incredibly gifted at maths or you're an amazing sports person. And the problem is, for those type of people, they start to believe the hype. They start dreaming of picking up that Oscar before the work's done, or collecting that gold medal before they've actually crossed the winning line. When people start to think that they're already super talented, they can sometimes get a bit lazy. Hard work is for people without my genius, they might think, or my talent. So they take their foot off the gas and stop trying. And what happens is they are sometimes overtaken by those who didn't opt for the sofa after their first taste of success. Thomas Edison once said, I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work. I've recently, since we've been off, been looking through some old photos of mine when I was a child and in family gatherings and things like that. And the one thing I noticed was that I always used to stand right at the back, just behind someone. Because when I was young, I really didn't have that much confidence at all. And that kept going for a long time until I gradually started to take myself out of my comfort zone. I started to really do certain different things, put myself in different situations. And the more I did it, the more practice I got, the more confidence I got. And I ask myself the question now, could I have done anything differently then? What has made me the person I am today? And the one thing I put it down to is practice. The more practice I do, the better I got at it. The more I learned to speak in front of people, the better I got. And each time, I have to do a presentation, there is that point where I have to build up my confidence a little bit and prepare myself. And that's the same for a lot of famous people, especially actors. As I've said before, they get incredibly nervous. They almost have this confidence crisis. I can't do it, I'll forget my lines. But they also have this ability that they practice and practice, and they know that they can overcome that fear. So we come to the final barrier. Who even am I? And wouldn't it be so much easier if we all shared the same outlook as our friends? We all had the same fears, but also the same ambitions. There was no chance of standing out from the crowd, and no chance of us doing something different and failing. But the other side of that is, how dull would that be? How would that look? Because the fact that every single one of us is so unique, we do look different, we do things in different ways, even if sometimes those ways might be a bit unusual. We think and behave like nobody else, and we all have the potential for awesomeness. But going our way and doing our own thing will bring attention and takes confidence, which ultimately has to come to us having this feeling of happy in our own skin. When we consider everything that holds us back, it's a miracle that we even get out of bed in the morning. But then again, every second of each day, somebody somewhere in the world pushes themselves out of their comfort zone to achieve something great. Somehow they've looked inside their brains and found a way to tackle those doubts, insecurities, and temptations that might have otherwise stopped them from pursuing their ambitions. And if they can, you can too. So we get to that point where we come and there's an obstacle, something that blocks your way or prevents you from doing something. And there's two approaches you can adopt: this fixed mindset, I'll give up because there are too many obstacles, or this growth mindset, where I'll find a way around that obstacle because I really want to succeed. And in our minds, there'll be loads of things that will be saying, don't try it, don't do it. For example, we're all hopeless in our family at doing this particular thing. I'm not really good at anything. I often start things but never finish. And the excuses continue. Hard work is for other people. I'm a natural. I don't have the coordination for this. I'd rather die than stand up and speak in front of people. And what we've got to try to consider is, therefore, how do we start to block out these negative or these fixed mindset statements and try to overcome and start to move forward and take on this obstacle? And by doing this, succeeding. And to do that, it's all about having what we call a growth mindset. So unfortunately, you can't buy this off the shelf, a growth mindset, but you can train yourself to do it. Just like as famous sports people, actors, musicians, or just being the very best you can be in maths or science or technology or a language or English, whatever it might be. And I want you to consider for a moment what a growth mindset might be and how you might create that. Because it's thinking about things like ability. Ability can be changed with practice. Talents, gifts, and skills can be developed. Under effort, it makes sense to have a go at anything. Putting effort in is the only way to get better at stuff. Mistakes will happen. There is nothing to be ashamed of, and they show me exactly what I don't know so that I can work on improving my skills. I appreciate feedback unless I know where I'm going wrong. I'll never be able to improve. And I welcome challenge. Bring it on. Try a new thing. It's the only way to learn. I don't mind if I don't get it right first time. That's fine. I'll get it next time, or the time after that, or even the time after that. And finally, I always try to find out how others achieve their goals. What did they do? How can I do the same as them to always achieve success? It's actually not that difficult, is it? If we develop that mindset, that growth mindset, how much could you achieve? How much more could you succeed at? So is growth mindset a big deal? Yeah, it really is. It's massive and it is potentially world changing. Think about people, the scientists who are developing a cure for cancer or trying to find the cure for global warming. they really are going to achieve as long as they continue to have a growth mindset, that they don't give up until they find that solution. What we also know for sure, though, is that you definitely won't reach your potential if you don't even try. And even if you're not an Olympic champion at the end of this, you'll be far, far better than when you started. The best you could possibly be. And no one can ask for any more than that. You'd also probably be more confident and more willing to try new things and less frightened to look silly. And who really wouldn't want that? So, for next week, we'll be looking a little bit more into the science of our brain and how we can train our brain even more to be positive and to develop this mindset. Look, I hope you all have a fantastic week ahead. There might be some news, as I said at the start, about when we might be coming back to school. I hope it's really soon because we're all desperate to get back to a normal way of working and being in school with you guys. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay well, and have a very good week. And I'll speak to you very, very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.